to Keller Williams to build this mega team, right? Like, okay, build a mega team. Build this mega team. You get 4 buyer's agent, a TC, an operations manager, and then you're gonna make $1 million. I'm like, great, that's my path. And so I went over to Keller Williams, and I don't know how I got suckered into teaching. And I was struggling because I was doing too much and I didn't have any process in place. I was just winging it. And then there was this lady, her name was Elizabeth Doe, at Keller Williams in OC. And she was Vietnamese. She was cool. I felt like she looked like me because she's Vietnamese and she was doing big things. I'm like, wow, that's another woman, Vietnamese woman, that's doing big things. And she had promoted on Instagram that she was teaching her listing class. And she was going to teach people how she did her listing presentation. And I was like, I've been in this industry for 15 years and no one has ever taught a listing class. Only the basic, right? Your office teaches you the basic listing. Like, this is what you talk about. These are like, you know, the inspection, the contracts and things like just the basic. But she had a full-blown listing presentation. And I was blown away by it, and I emailed her, and I texted her, and I said, can I fly in for your class? And she's like, what? She was really shocked. And my brother was my assistant at that time. I said, Steven, pack your bags. We're going to LA. And so Steven came with me to the class. And it was so amazing. She toured me her office. She had this major office, this big office. She was selling about 365 homes a year. She's a baddie. She still does. She refers me deals all the time because we're friends now. And she kind of laid out how she did her listing presentation if she sat down with a seller. And I was like, wow, that's so cool. And I had Steven write down all of the key points and take pictures and kind of, you know, set that up. And then so we got back home, we sat down for an entire week and planned out this listing presentation. And that's how my listing booklet started to happen. And I'm telling you, every time I go to a listing appointment, no one leaves a book like mine behind. And I nail it almost 10 out of 10. I've almost never lost a listing, even if it was a luxury agent on the east side. I still kick their ass because of my listing presentation. Just being prepared and also actually caring about the client as well. So there's 2 pieces, right? The first piece is your presence and your professionalism and the knowledge you have. And the second piece is so big is that you actually listen to what they have to say and you accommodate them. Not every seller wants top dollars. Not every seller wants the exact same thing, right? So your goal is to, 1, show up professionally, have knowledge, and 2, actually care about people. If you care about people and you show you care about people, you're going to get the deal. And I'll tell you an example as we go through the listing presentation, how I went toe-to-toe with 3 luxury agents in the east side, and I landed the listing. And I'll tell you my secret when we get there. Okay, so we're gonna first go through the 3 L's. We're gonna talk about the 3 L's in real estate. And the 3 L's is leads, okay, listings, and leverage. If you have those 3, you're gonna kill the industry. You're gonna be so well off that you don't need to figure out where the next deal is. You're gonna have a consistent flow of business. And then we're gonna go through my listing presentation. I'm gonna show you what it looks like. And at the end, I'm gonna give you 4 real estate hacks to get you a listing within the next 30 days. Who wants a listing in the next 30 days? Okay. Okay, you guys ready? Okay, and oh, to it. Okay, she wants all of your title order. She's amazing, by the way. Okay, so we're gonna get through. You guys can stop me and ask questions at any time, okay? This is kind of like us, kind of sharing it. Okay, so a little bit about me. If you guys don't know me or don't follow me on Instagram or Facebook, I've been in the industry ever since 2003. I know I'm only 20. I don't know how that number came about. I've sold over 440 homes on and off market. I've done a lot of off-market deals, especially with my father, with investors. We've just done a lot of off-market deals, and then we bring it back on the market, and I get a double deal. So I love those double whammies. You find a deal for an investor, you get the list back, and then people see it, and then they give you another listing. It's just like a never-ending cycle. It's beautiful. Sales volume, I would say about 223 million in sales. Started buying rentals in 2008. Was the best time to buy. No one was buying, and then I decided to buy. I'll tell you about my shoebox story another day, how I acquired my rentals. I started flipping in 2014. Fell in love with it. Oh my gosh, I love flipping. Married for 17 years to my amazing husband. He's also my chef. We have 3 amazing kids and Freddie, our dog. And then my goal in life is to change the industry and unite us as a community. We're not competing, you guys. We really, really are not competing. I'm here to help you. Everybody's here to help each other. The more we can collaborate, the more we can grow. Hi, Annie. The more we can grow. Because you don't know everything, nor do I. And I am the worst at being organized. So if any of you who want to do a deal together and organize, I'd love to do one with you. Okay, 2 of my favorite quotes from Tony Robbins. One, if you do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always gotten, right? Continue to do the same thing, you're going to get the same thing. So my listing presentation, I've altered it so many times because I keep having to change it. And then it stays with this, right? Stay committed to the decision, but stay flexible in the approach. It's like, it's not one way or the highway. It's, okay, you have a destination, but you're having to change that all the time. Thus, my listing presentation has always changed. I've spent so much money on social media, having a videographer take care of my collateral, but it's an investment that I had to make. There's people buying Zillow leads at $10,000 a month, you guys. And then they disappear. Those leads start to disappear, and that's a monthly payment. But if you invest in your social media, it lives for you, not for Zillow, not for Redfin, right? So think about things like that. What's the ROI in that? Okay, so let's talk about 3 L's. I'm going to go over real quick. I can give you guys these slides. I learned this when I was at Keller Williams, and it stuck with me, right? So every day, your goal is to generate leads, right? If you don't have leads, you have nothing. And I'm going to teach you how to generate leads at the very end. But these are some of the ways that you can generate leads. Those leads will lead to listing. I've always focused on listings. I've always, when I first started, I had family that didn't even want to buy or sell with me. So I went in the office every day, and it was like, I was at John L. Scott, and I came in, and Mary would sit here, and I would sit here next to her. And we had a bet. If we came in late to start cold calling as expired, she would have to put $20 in my jar. And if I was late to start calling, I'd have put $20 in her jar. So every day it was a race to get in the office because I didn't want to give her my $20. And this was like 20 years ago, so $20 is like a lot, right? It was like a lot of money. And we just pounded the phones, and we were just calling. I had a notebook this big because this is 20 years ago, guys. Like, we didn't have like cold calling dialing system, so I had a notebook this thick. And I printed out all the expireds. And guess what? The houses that were on the market for over 60 days, I printed those because when it expired, the agents normally delete the phone number. So I looked at all the owner occupied, and then I'd save all the sheets with the phone number, and I highlight it. Because once they delete it, they take off the phone number. So I had a strategy. Anyway, some of my best clients were from expired. I remember calling one and I was like, hey, Andre, I can sell your house. It expired. Did you know? He was like, no. I was like, okay, just give me 10 minutes. I'm going to show you how I can sell your house in 90 days or you can fire me. Or it's free. Like, you can literally fire me in 90 days. I'm going to show you. Just give me 10 minutes. And he invited me over to his house. Him and his wife were sitting there. They just got out of a hot tub, smoking a cigarette. And I was like, these are my people. I was like, yes, I'm going to get this listing. And she was like, Ty, take that Grey Goose shot. I'll give you the listing. She's like, Ukraine, you know? I was like, okay, great. I'm just going to take that shot. But my first week of cold calling, I landed 2 new construction because I cold called. And then after that, I helped them buy a condo in Bellevue. And turns out they own this big stucco company, Shimshak Stucco Company. But they're still my friends till today, 20-some years later. And that all came from cold calling. And I have more fun working with people who are not related to me than people related to me because they expect certain things. And the thing is, if you mess up, they're like, I knew it, you weren't good. Or like, should have given me a discount, you know? Like, you should have given me a discount, we're family. But when you work with strangers and you screw up, you never have to see them again. So who cares? So I don't really have, I'm not scared to call strangers. I actually rather call a stranger than someone I know. That's just me. I had to change my mindset. Anyways, so these are tactics and ways to get listings. You can have this slide. And then leveraging. Now you have money, right? You're going to hire a transaction coordinator. You can now start, like Diana, she has like 8 in escrow. She's running around like crazy. Diana, stand up. Yes. Come on. 8 in escrow. Her client needs to buy a place. And she's like, I can't. My capacity is full. And now she gave it to one of our agents on our team. And we keep it in the house. There she is right there, Key. Key's going to help her keep it in the family. And now she's leveraging off of our people in our community. And we all win together. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah. So I was like, that's how I had to do it too. I mean, I grew so fast. I went from 12 transactions to 48 on my own with no TC. While pregnant with 2 kids. And I did it all. And my husband was opening a restaurant. Yeah, it was crazy. Okay, next slide. Okay, so usually when I go to a listing appointment, I'll bring this book. I can pass it on to you guys. So I created this on Canva, right? And everything in here is already pre-made, literally pre-made. The only 2 things I have to do, or maybe 3, is I'll add in their address and then the owner's name according to the realist. And then when I give them this book, you know what? They think I spent like half the day putting this together and they feel so special. They're like, oh, I'm gonna keep this, you know? They love this thing. And then I put my information on here. And then it goes over my mission and my vision for the relationship and how I build the business. And then so I start off with this. It tells them a little bit about myself. And this came directly from Zillow because it's a public website, so they can verify this information, right? The reason why I have this map here is because a lot of sellers will say, well, do you specialize in Tacoma? Or do you specialize in Everett? I was like, oh, look at the map. Look at all my dots. I specialize in getting homes sold. That's what I do. And I guarantee you I'll get your home sold. So it kind of removes that specialty location out of the way. So now we can move on to the next question, right? You know, this is a nice chart for those tech people or people who like organized way of thinking and seeing visually. I have it in here, and it just goes through the process, right? I sit with them and I say, okay, you don't sell homes every day, and obviously the process may be differently from what you're seeing. So this is a great sheet to go back to know where we're at in the process. So in the beginning, what we're gonna do is, we're in the beginning process is us meeting. The second is a market valuation. Now that I've seen your home, I'm gonna be able to take what I've seen and I'm gonna go back and give you a market valuation, okay? And just leave it at that. And then once you decide to work with me, like once we decide to work together, my transaction coordinator is gonna send you the signed listing agreement. And then in that listing agreement, we're gonna start the process of getting the photos booked and all that to get your house going. As you can see, there's a lot of steps that we have to go through to get your house on the market. Like a lot of sellers, if you weren't an agent before, did you think real estate was easy? Yes, right? Now you're in the business, is it easy? No, it's not. It's a full-time gig. So this is really great because they get to see the flow of the listing. And then I'll have a little bio about my TC. So I have 2 or 3 different TCs that I work with that sometimes is a best fit for my client. So I have 3 different pages in Canva, and then so I'll just swap them out when I print the booklet. So yeah, Jessica's on there. And then I go through the benefit of doing a pre-inspection. We talk about that. We clearly define why they shouldn't do a pre-inspection. And a lot of times condos, you really don't need to do a pre-inspection. It's just, you know, kind of a waste of money. Or if it's a brand new construction, usually we don't. But typically I like them to do a pre-inspection so that it could go straight to pending because they know what they're getting. And why is it important to go straight to pending? Okay, I say this. Say you have your house on the market and we go pending and they have a 5-day inspection, correct? They have 5 days to just drive by and say they don't like the light and they could terminate the agreement based on inspection. Say in that meantime, your neighbor decides to go on the market for $20,000 below your house. Now they're gonna terminate your deal, jump over there at no risk to them. So is it worth putting a $400 pre-inspection in place and go straight to pending? Is it worth it to you? But see, your knowledge is guiding them through the process. Everything you drop to them is building your credibility to walk them through the process, right? So your goal is to show confidence by providing knowledge and a process. So I go through this process with them, kind of have them read through it, but I'm telling you, luxury clients, like clients that are at about 1.5 million up, when I show up, they've already done a pre-inspection because they Google everything. They have a checklist for all this stuff. I went to a listing appointment. They're like, don't worry, Ty, we already did it. Oh, we have a contract coming and they're doing all the check boxes. Nice. It's so nice. Okay, that's the next one. So what makes us different? It's being able to coach you through the process to get you top dollars. This was a rental in, was this Covington, Favi? You staged this.
No, not that one.
Yeah, you did.
Oh shit, I did. That Maple Valley.
Maple Valley, yeah. So, yeah. Isn't that funny? So her mom lived here and they didn't have a budget and they're like, we have about like 10 or 20 grand left in it to spend. And so I made a check sheet of the most important to the lowest. And I gave them numbers on each item. And then they picked the top 3, right? And the top 3 was what? The flooring, the paint, and then the staging. That's what we did. Top 3. And it met their budget. We could do more, right? We could have cleaned the roof. We could have did the landscaping.
Hold on. So what do you? So you give
Go back.
A top 3?
Yeah, based on their budget. If they say, oh, we're willing to put in the money to get top dollars, then I wouldn't have a budget for them. Got it. But if they say, hey, I only want to spend like 9 grand or 10,000. Yeah. What can I do with that 10,000? Okay. Right? Then I'm gonna create a sheet for them and punch those through, from most important to lowest, and then they get to choose. Sometimes they won't do staging, so we'll do virtual staging, right? So you have to listen to them. Yeah, so we sold that. Thank you for staging it. That was her last staging gig. This house. Okay, let me tell you about this house. Okay, so this is an example. Outshine your competition with exceptional staging. There's an aesthetic to staging. Favi knows. Not all stagers are treated are equal, right? Not all photographers are the same. Just because the picture looks nice doesn't mean it's like a luxury, high quality, high end. So I have photographers for different price points in my listing, okay? So this house, I went toe-to-toe with, this is the one. I went toe-to-toe with 3 other luxury agents. And this is, so they wanted 2.2 million. And they said, if you get 2.2 million, I'll pay you 2% commission. That's what she said. And I said, I can get you more than that. And she said, if you get me anything above 2.5, I'll give you 3% commission. I said, deal. But there was like 3 other agents interviewing for the listing. And I called her. I don't know why. I was thinking about her that morning because I had finished the interview. And I had thinking about her all day. And that morning I was driving my daughter to daycare. And I was thinking about her. I was like, okay, I'm going to drop Megan off. I'm going to get in my car. I'm going to call her because I haven't heard from her for 3 days.
I remember this one.
Yeah. Yeah. And I didn't want to lose this deal. And I dropped Megan off. And then I was walking. And then there she was right in front of me, this lady named Z Ting. And I was like, is that you? And she was like, Ty? And I was like, I was just thinking about you. Like the law of attraction, right? Manifesting. I was like radiating her or something. But our kids have, 3%. Yeah, our kids had gone to the same school for 2 years. I've never seen her. Wow. And she's like, Ty, I've been meaning to tell you, I'm actually going to give the listing to this other agent because she's willing to pay for the staging. And I was like, listen, if I can get you over 2.5 and you pay me 3%, I'll pay for staging. She was like, you'd lower your values for me? I was like, yes, I would. But I got the listing. And guess what? I got them $400,000 more than asking price and got my 3%. Wow. Isn't that crazy? One of the reasons why it was between me and this other agent, it was like we were neck and neck. She's like, I narrowed down. There was 18 agents we had a list from. You were, we interviewed only 6, and you were the top 2. And the question she asked me, her husband asked me, because they were at Microsoft at that time, and they were relocating to Taiwan. And 2 things I think that really hit home was, 1, she said that they had to move and they didn't have time. So they needed someone, if they hand over the keys, they'd take it from A to Z. And I paid attention and I told her I could. I was like, you hand me the keys, I'm going to invoice you everything. We're going to get the ball rolling. I have an entire team dedicated to renovating homes. So that was one. And her husband asked me this question. He said, Ty, what are you going to do different than everybody else to get my home sold? That's what he said. And I listened to the entire conversation of what he said. And he told me the reason why he fell in love with this house was because they're both Buddhists and they had a very hard time having children. Okay? And for some reason, when they moved into this home, their luck had changed. And the monk who used to live there, he flew in this giant rock that was blessed. And he moved the rock to the front of the house. And the feng shui expert that came, he said the house has beautiful energy. Like the energy in the room and the house, if you live here, you'd be successful. You get all your wishes, like all your wishes would come true. He was like, so when he said that, he was like, how are you going to portray my house to sell? And I don't know, I just like, maybe I was just intuition, I don't know, but I said, I was like, Ziting, listen, majority of the people that are going to come through your house that's in Bellevue are either going to be Chinese, Indian, right? Like tech people. And I'm going to make sure every single person I meet, I'm going to call them and tell them about the blessings of this house. I'm going to make sure that they know that this is a lucky house, that the store behind this house, and then that stone is going to bring them a lot of luck and prosperity. I'll make sure of it. And they're like, oh, she gets us, right? So, things like that, like I said, like when you care and you listen, things like that go a long way. Because when you get them and they know that you get them, it just changed the entire dynamic of the relationship. And another strange thing happened. They cleared out their whole house, right? They boxed everything, they shipped everything, they threw away everything. And then our stagers came in and they staged the house. And when they were done, I walked through the house. The stager made one of the bedroom a twin room. And the stagers didn't know. They had twins too. Oh, wow. Isn't that crazy? And I was like, maybe I should buy this house. But it's crazy. I'm telling you, if you understand energy, you read about it, you practice it, things will show up and you'd never expected. It's amazing. Like I'm telling you, I manifested all of you guys here today. Okay. So this is another success that I share. Virtual staging. So I provide this because a lot of clients don't want to spend $3,000 staging. And we do offer virtual staging. It gives you an idea of what you could do with the space, and we pay for it as part of the photography package. You guys have all done it. It's cheap. It's like an extra $150 or whatever. They'll put in key rooms and things like that. So gives them option because if they have a budget, you have to accommodate those budget. We also have landscapers in our team. This is Kim Yin's house. We helped her clean up her backyard when she was pregnant and sold it. My dad actually built this house for my brother in West Seattle, so it's very special. I still have the blueprints for this, so if you ever need a blueprint of this, I'd give it to you. This house was, go back, this house. So this house, it was a referral. It expired on Redfin. The Redfin agent couldn't sell it. I went in and I looked at the property and I'm like, okay, why would this not sell? Why? And the thing is, the wife lived here with 2 dogs and 2 kids. And it was a total mess and people felt uncomfortable walking through. They also had a 3-car garage in the back that wasn't marketed. The staging was so crappy. I'm like, I could even stage this better. So what I did was I sat down, I gave them a plan. I made them a list of things that they needed to do. The first was I needed the mom and the 2 kids and the dog all to sleep in the basement. All in one room. Lock them in. Like, you guys, you can't leave this room. Right? And then I was going to stage the rest of the house. So I had a strategy coming in. I had professional photos coming in. I had the roofer come in. I had my team redo the landscape. I had it all redone. And I launched it in the market. Within 4 days, I was in Vegas. It went pending. I get a feel of it. Like, okay, I'm thinking we need to do this. Yeah. We need to do that. We need to do that. We talk about it.
Like on the spot.
Yes, on the spot.
On the spot told them, hey, I need for you guys to sit downstairs.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, do you want to sell the house?
Right.
Yeah. So I need you guys all sleep on the floor. All 4 of you with your dog. Because I can't have the dog running around smelling like a dog. Right? So giving them clear goals, what to expect, it helps them out. Because now they're like, we're doing it right. Or, they have a clear path of what to do.
Do you tell them or guide them?
I tell them.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like, do you want me to? I mean, when I first meet them, I usually introduce myself and said, I'm here to help you. Is it okay for me to be brutally honest with you? Ask permission. Like, I think, the 4 agreements, if you read that book, right? Don't assume and always ask permission. It's like giving advice. People don't want your advice.
Right.
make sure you ask permission for that advice. Like, do I have your permission to guide you through this process? And be brutally honest with you, right? And it's worked so many ways than one. This is another, kind of give them an idea of my work that I do for listings. This is a house we sold in Redmond for $2.4 million. That's my friend. Moved them to a different house. Also 3D. If you're with our group at EXP, we do have a team that provides 3D virtual tour. I don't know if the new ones know that, but we do have a team that does that. So if you have a listing, just let myself know or someone know. They'll come out and do the 3D virtual tour for you guys. And Matt Bond's team does it. So make sure you reach out to his team. They'll go out and do the virtual tour for you guys. Social media. So I tell them the importance of us blowing it up in social media. So one of my tricks is saying, okay, say you're gonna go sell your car, okay? And you put it on Craigslist or you put it on eBay. Where would you get the most amount of money in viewers? eBay.
Really?
eBay has hella people. Well, no one goes on Craigslist anymore, right? Okay. It's just kind of like an idea, like a garage sale, right? If you do for sale by owner garage sale or whatever. The goal is to maximize the spread of information. And I tell them a lot, like, okay, it's not that someone sees it and they're gonna buy it. What happens is their friend or their mom sees it, you were talking about buying a house, and then they share it with you or they tag you. That's how social media works right now, right? And so our goal is to maximize the exposure for your house. Do you want someone who's just gonna put a sign on the yard, or someone's gonna proactively market your property? And that's what we do. So we gotta give them layers of what we do besides just putting it on the MLS. Within our system, we have KV Core, which your listing goes into the CRM. And then in that CRM, you could push out an ad. And then you could do a just listed, open house, and then you could pay $60, and it'll guarantee it'll go out to like, I don't know, 4.
You select how many people you want.
Yeah.
It goes in like
right, like $60, $80, $120, which is like the a la carte, and it just shoots it out for you. And then the leads will come in, and they'll come in, and it'll give you a whole market valuation of the property. Like, all these houses came on the market in the area, so every week you can give your client an update of what's going on, like, here's our competition, how far it is in Renton, things like that. So it's really great. And then this is kind of the platform. So you can IDX feed it, you can push it out to your website, you do all that stuff and get leads, but I don't deal with leads, so. And then I push it out on my social media. Kelly put this on. I know, I do. I didn't want to include it because I don't know.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so.
Thank you, Pat. But people also reach out to you to list their stuff because they see what you do on social.
I think, this social media for me has really served in the investor side. A lot of my investors have come and seen this and like, okay, she knows what she's doing. And a lot of times they say, hey, I found this on my own. Would you list it? I get it all the time. Like, of course I'll list it. So, yeah. It's been like 2.5 years consistently. 2.5 years. And a lot of paychecks. Okay, next one. I also have a very strong presence in LinkedIn. So I would advise all of you to be on LinkedIn. That's where all the professionals go. I had this guy called me, found me on LinkedIn, went to Zillow and followed me on Zillow and saw that I sold all these property in Renton. And I guess he had like 8 properties in Renton he wants to offload. Also has a house on Beach Drive, wants to sell as well. And all came from social media. I'm still talking to him right now. He is doing 4 properties, eminent domain to the city of Renton. He also has 2 other rental properties that he wants to sell. It has Dadu in the back that's not conforming, so we're gonna have to figure that out with him. Just kind of talk to him too. He's like, you seem like you know what you're doing. And your property that you sold is just adjacent from my property. So I want to work with you and try to figure all these out and kind of offload because I want to get out of the residential and go to more of commercial lending. So LinkedIn, you guys. Okay, who has a LinkedIn account?
I do.
Yeah, that's the place that you need to grow. So after I go through all that, now we're gonna go through the meat of our conversation is pricing their property, okay? Because they all wanna know how much their house is worth, right? I have a section in here that I go through pricing. So I have a tab, and it goes, pricing. Like, are you ready to price your property? They're like, yes, tell me how much, right? They always like get excited about this. And so I go through the 3 pricing strategies with them. What we do is we look at 3 to 5 that's active on the market around their area. We look at 3 to 5 properties that went pending, and we look at the ones that are sold. Sold is 3 to 6 month data, right? We're not going to use that. We're going to use that as a base, right? And then sometimes we're like, okay, what was the rate? What was the rate when they went on the market? What was the interest rate when they went pending? You have to have these conversations with them because the more conversations you have with them to guide them, the more credibility you build, right? So these are things that you have to talk about. And so I say, okay, I know that house down the street sold for $1 million, but that was in the springtime last year. That was 6 months ago, but it was in springtime last year. We cannot use that as a comp. I'm going to show you how we're going to use comps. And I kind of walk them through the process of how to comp their property. And usually they get it. I do what we call, you've seen me do a presentation with your parents. So what I do is I do a macro view and a micro view. I can teach you guys on another day how to do that. I walked Fabi through it. I think we went through it, the macro, micro. It's really cool because it gives them a parameter of their whole entire area, right? All of, like, let's say Renton, because we're here. All of Renton. Is all of Renton treated equally? No, right? So say they lived in this little pocket, right? This golf course in this pocket, okay? So we're going to do a macro view and then a micro view of the golf course community. And then we're going to look at a few things. We're going to look at what side street they're on, if they're on a corner, if they're not, they have a view, 3-car garage, like the list goes on, right? We're going to look at all that. So now they want $1 million for it, okay? Now I'm going to use the macro view. I'm like, okay, if I had $1 million, will I buy your house or will I drive a little bit further out to get something else? So what is it that's something else out there that's $1 million, right? And it's like, okay, you're buying a house. Would you buy this 4,000 square feet new built 10 minutes away from the golf course, or would you buy your house at $1 million? Okay? Have them sit on that. And this house is still on the market, by the way. Okay? Nothing has gone pending in your pocket. So you're guiding them through the thought process of a buyer. And then the visual will help you fine-tune the price. Does that make sense? So the more you can massage it, the more you can dig deep, the more you're going to create credibility with the seller, okay? That's what I generally do with them. And then they're like, so you tell me, how much are you going to sell my house for, right? It's like, that's a great question. Let me go back, let me narrow it down, and then I'll give you a price range. They're like, well, I want to know exactly how much my house can sell for. And I said, that's like me telling you what the stock's going to do next week, right? It's going to change. So what we're going to do is I'm going to give you a range, and then 2 days before we put it on the market, we're going to come up with a price. I'm just being honest. You asked me to be honest. I'm not going to guarantee a price. That's like you guaranteeing a stock price. We can't do that. So what I do is I have like a quick sell price, a medium price, and a high price, right? So they get to pick. So I usually just pull the Northwest MLS data of all the active, sold, whatever, and I'll put it in here like low, medium, and high. Where do you want to be? Do you want to be at the low and sell, maybe get multiple offers? Do you want to be a medium, or do you want to be on a high? But if you're high, then your house has to be in a high quality, right? Everything has to be high. Do you have a fully fenced? Does yard look immaculate? Are all your appliances, are they all top of the line? Do you have to redo the carpet? Like, let's talk about that. Are you at the median? Or are you at the low? Or are you at the high? Those are the conversations you need to have with them. And I have that in the presentation. And then I just give them an idea what my flyers look like, what they'll expect on the flyer pole. They'll get a QRD code on it that they can scan and have it stick on. When they scan it, it goes to the KV Core account. So I have their login information, like all their data. They'll subscribe. They'll see all that, part of the tools that we have. And then at the end, usually I'll give them like homes that I've sold in the area. If I knew that they're very particular, I'll pull everything I've sold in like Covington, just so they know, like I got this for them. Or if it's in Bellevue, I'll pull all the deals I've ever done. And sometimes we can use other agents in our team. I mean, you can, right? Just like in our team, we've sold this house as well. So you can use our team stats as well. And then I have my reviews on here. Yep, I have my reviews. That looks good, Kelly. And that's it. Okay, let's freeze there. Okay. Any question before I give you 4 hacks that are going to get you guys listing in the next 30 days? But I just wanted to congratulate Shang. He called. This is real life stuff that's happening right now, okay? Shang called an expired listing. I think we ordered a title. Verification right there. Shang called an expired listing, and the seller was like, this guy was like, man, you're like the 50th person that called me. I was like, what the F, But somehow he picked up the phone, and Shang was like, hey, your house expired on the market. Are you consider interviewing someone else to get the house sold? He was like, are you gonna sell it? Are you gonna keep it? And he was like, no, I'm gonna sell it, but it's not moving. And he was like, well, can I take a look at it? I can give you an idea of what we could do to get it sold. And he looked it up, and he was like, oh shit, it's like 2.5 million. I've never sold a 2.5 million in my life. So he calls me. He was like, Ty, would you go to a listing appointment with me? And I was like, okay, I have an hour before I have my hot pot date with my girls. So I give you an hour. So I looked it up, kind of had an idea, and I saw the listing. I saw the client's name. I kind of knew the way this seller's going to roll, right? Because I've done it a lot. And so I didn't really put a listing presentation together. I just went there because it was last minute. Went there, just talked to him, felt him out, and he was like, well, I want to do this. All the feedback said that I needed a stairway in the deck, and the feedback said I needed to do this. And I was like, okay, but is it okay for me to be honest with you and tell you what you need to do to get your home sold? And he said, okay. I said, okay, so your house is over 4,000 square feet. You're tailored to a family, and you have a driveway that the kids can fall over. No parent is going to buy this house knowing their kids might fall over, and if they don't even know where to put the fence. So what I would advise is for us to bring our contractors in, re-tee this property up, and get you on the market. But we've been going back and forth for the past, I think, 2 months. I think we had that call in January, my hot pot, remember? So January till now, so 2 months. We've been toggling. I mean, just talking back and forth. And like, is this guy going to sign this listing agreement or not? I was exhausted, like emailing, punch list, just going back and forth. And finally yesterday, or the day before, he signed the listing agreement. Wow. Yep. 2.5. So, Shang's been in the industry for only 18 months. Wow. To be able to slay a $2.5 million listing in his portfolio, come on, guys.
That's pretty awesome.
And expired. But when you have community, like I said, if you have people who's going to back you up and help build you and teach you everything they know, you can't fail. I promise you. And there's nobody in the industry that's going to do that. I've never gone to a listing appointment with anybody I've ever met. And I've been in it for a very long time. I think this is my 22nd year anniversary this month in this industry. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So, okay. So get out your pen. I'm going to teach you a few hacks to get you some listings. Who wants listings?
Woo!
All right, let's go. All right. You want a listing, Izzy?
Hell yeah.
Oh, I was going to show you, like, this is kind of how I track my leads. I have this sheet in Google Drive, and I was showing you this the other day. I could share it with you guys. It's really basic. Right now, I have about 20 clients that are going to list this year or buy or sell, and then I just keep adding to it. And these are my top people that I call every Monday. I just call them like, hey, just checking in, making sure we're on schedule. What do you need from me to get your house listed? It was weird because Vanita, who is my property manager, one of my property manager, for some reason she keep thinking I'm Thatch. She like emails me apartment deals all the time. I'm like, Vanita, I don't do apartments, but I can. She's like, no, I'm gonna leave it for Thatch. And I was like, well, I do residential. And she's like, I forgot you did residential real estate. She's like, well, I have 2 properties I want to sell. You want to help me? I'm like, okay. Nice. Right? This is what you do. I mean, you keep jabbing at people, right? And so, like, look, Vanita, she has 2, right? And then Alicia and I have a flip that's coming on the market next week, hopefully. Just, anybody, like old clients, they've called me this year and they're like, I'm going to sell this year. So I track them on here, and then I have like active and then things I need to do, my tasks on here. So everything kind of lives in here, and now I share it with Kelly so she knows like the things I need to do, my vacation, daily thank you cards. Jessica does a lot of that. Send out Google reviews, gift card for people who've sent referrals, my fall, winter events, things like that. Top 40, like I have a top 100 that I always call. I'm like, hey, what's going on? Things like that. So I also have this sheet if you guys want it. I kind of like hacked the core sheet right here. And then my goal is to just put in like 5 new conversation leads in here. And I just keep it in my folder and I keep adding to it. It's just a place to put things. And then once they become a solid lead, then I'll stick it in here and I'll start tracking them. So I know I'm a paper person. I'm super basic. I don't do CRMs that well. I don't really need to do a lot of deals. My dream is to just sell maybe 20 homes a year, flip 2, buy 1 rental. That's my jam. 20 homes, flip 2, buy rental. Accelerated depreciation every year, and then go on vacation. That's kind of my goal. Okay, number 1. Okay, you guys ready? Yeah. Okay. I'm so excited. Okay. Who here has a buyer? Buyer. Okay, all you guys have a buyer, right? Okay, this is what you do, okay? You call your title rep. Right there, raise your hand. Okay, you call your title rep, right? And you get mailing address for everyone in that cul-de-sac for your client that's looking. Your client's looking in that neighborhood, that area, and there's no listing on the market, okay? So this is what you do. Go identify the neighborhood that you're looking in. Hand address the envelope, okay? Don't print it, hand address, write it, okay? And then put a real stamp on it, like a cute one. I always use like Christmas because I always have extra Christmas stamp. So they're like, okay, this is not a weird company. And then don't put your company logo. Don't put anything on there. They want, your goal 90% is to get them to open it. Some people put like a wedding sticker on there or a birthday cake stamp or sticker on there just to get them to open the damn thing, okay? That's your goal, okay? And then in there, you want to put, Dear so-and-so, I'm representing a client who's interested in your home. okay? They are approved for X amount, down payment X amount. They lost out on XXX address. We identify your home as a property that may be perfect fit for them. Here's the hook. Would you consider a one-day listing just for my buyers to see it? I just got goosebumps. Okay? So if you don't have a buyer right now, what should you be doing? Do a fucking open house. Right? And then so someone walks in, and then they're like, they walk in and you're like, hi, yeah, are you working with an agent? They're like, yes, I'm working with an agent. Can I ask, when did you sign that buyer-broker agreement? They're like, you know, you're going to catch them off guard because they're just telling you, right? And it's like, I'm okay with working with your agent. What I specialize in is I find properties that are not on the market that you could see on the MLS. If I come across a home just like this, or even better, a 4-bedroom versus a 3-bedroom I'm sitting in, would you want to know? Would you want to know? Yes. Of course. To think of yourself as an investor. I want to see all inventory, right? Okay, great. If I can get your information, I won't bother, I promise. Tell me a little bit about yourself so I can find that property. Now fill all that shit out. Name, where they're, you know, how much down payment, all that stuff, right? The more specific you can get in your letter, the more likely the seller is going to call you back. I had a friend, she's in our team. She got outbid on every single house in Mercer Island. And it was her dream. It's her dream to live on the island. Because, you know, the school rating is like the best and like this amazing thing, right? She's always outbid. So her and her husband got their license and started sending out letters. Con, she's in our group. So she wrote a letter. She said, had a picture of her kids and her, and say, you know, we've been looking on the island for the past 5 years. We keep getting outbid. If you're consider selling it, please call us. We promise to pay you as much as we can, like what we can afford. Like, please. She sent out, she said 50 letters to homes that she identified that she liked. She got 3 callbacks. Wow. And she ended up buying one of them. Oh, wow. And now she tore down that house and she's building a brand new house. She put in $1.5 million in that house already. And now it's worth 5 because she wrote that letter. So it works, guys, right? And if you write like 50 or 60 a week or a month, that's $100, right? If I gave you 100, if you gave me 100 and I gave you 20,000, would you do it all day? I'd do it all day. That's better than the casino. Yeah, don't fake it, right? Don't fake it. I have a buyer right now too, looking in Renton under $850, and we're getting outbid. We put an offer in Kennydale, full price offer, waived everything. Someone came in and paid more. In Kennydale, $850. It's crazy. The market's hot right now in Renton. Okay, all right. Okay, number 2. Ready for number 2? This is a fun one. This is an ongoing one, okay? So on your Instagram story, ask question using a poll. Because you want people to be interactive, right? A lot of you are marketing a one-directional. You guys are like, oh, look at this beautiful house. Look at this kitchen. And they're just seeing it. And then they'll swipe past you, right? Your job is to get them to interact with you, right? Your job is to get them involved in the process. So, one, you could do, are you living in your dream home and in the back have this beautiful house? And just take, Favi is really good at this. She like, oh, this house in Renton just listed. Or, you know, she does all these polls. Your job is to get them to interact with you, because as soon as they want to pull the trigger, they've already been clicking on you, right? And the more they click on your stuff, the more you'll show up on their stories and your Instagram. You'll start showing up more. There's people that I don't click on, then all of a sudden, I'm like, where did they go? It's because I don't interact with them and they start disappearing. So your job is to get them to continue to interact with you, right? So you can do 1, are you living your dream home? Like beautiful home with a pool or whatever. Next one, 3 times a week, keep the poll going, right? I want to learn how to invest in real estate, yes or no? Who do you think is going to say no to that? Okay, that's another poll. Just come on, I just ChatGPT this, guys. Like, it's not genius. Okay, what's the interest rate today? Poll. Give them a whole row of interest rates. Have them click on one. And then just like, haha, text them back, haha, wrong. It's actually 7. Ha, 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 whatever, right? You know, or there's like, if they did that right and they guessed it, then you could say, hey, did you know there's a special financing for affordability? That you can get a second loan and you don't have to pay interest on the second loan? Like Jessica, right? There's a, what's that program called? Down payment assistant. So say you wanted to live in Issaquah, right? And the house is, just for sake of numbers, $800. And you only afford $600. You can get approved for $800, but only pay $600,000 in mortgage. The difference is 0. You don't have to pay that till later to help you become affordable. Do you think that's knowledge that you should spread out to your clients?
Yes, absolutely.
Right? Because a lot of people are like, my pre-approval is only $800, but I want a house for $1 million. Well, maybe we can look at these programs. Let's have a conversation. Did you know that this program exists? There's so much opportunity for you to have these conversations. Another one, would you buy this house? Right? You post that. I'm offering a free market valuation of your home or whatever. Please, or no thank, or whatever. Just like, I'm offering free market valuation. Any takers? I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know if that makes sense.
Oh, it's me, please.
Me, please, yeah, okay. I did this at 5 in the morning, you guys. Literally. I woke up early just to do this for you guys. Okay. Need a bigger house, yes or no? Is this your dream yard, yes or no? I mean, whatever, right? Door knocking, okay, so, okay, number 3. Sorry, I didn't separate that. Okay, door knocking is number 3. Door knocking before open house, okay? Okay, so this is a good one. Hey, is the business card here? Okay, just grab a business card, right? And then buy a yellow sticky note. Go to a dollar store. They have them there. Okay. And on that sticky note, okay, yellow sticky note, you're going to write this. Call me about your house. And you're going to stick the card where the doorknob is. Right there. And you're just going to put all you're going to put on there is call me about your house. Okay? And then what do you do when they call you? What are you going to say? What are you going to say? Right?
I'm waiting for you.
So if you do that, okay, sick. Hi, thanks for calling. I'm actually representing a buyer that really, really wants to live in your neighborhood. I just had to reach out. Being an aggressive buyer's agent for my client, I want to, have you ever had thoughts about selling? Like, I'm actively, aggressively looking for a house for my client. Have you thought about selling or know anybody who's selling in your neighborhood? That's another way to door knock, right? So that's another way. Number 4, this is our last hack. There's this company called slidebroadcast.com. There's also slidedial.com. There's a lot of companies out there. But this is one of them. You can subscribe to this program, and you can drop an entire list of phone numbers, and you pre-record a message. Hi, Michelle. This is Tina Nguyen at EXP. My client lost out on X and X house near your neighborhood. Have you ever thought about selling your home? If you have, please give me a call, or whatever it is. Or you could even do a birthday program on there. You can put in, happy birthday, I'm so excited, it's your birthday, whatever you want to say, right? Hope that we can get together for lunch. I miss you, whatever you want to say. You pre-record that. You load everybody's birthday for January or February, and then it'll shoot it out and it'll go right to their voicemail. Their phone won't even ring. Right? Their phone won't even ring. And it'll say their name in it. Your voice will say their name on it. Hi, Ty, but you dumped in 100 people. So you could do this, right? You can drop 100 voicemail. Hi, Miss Jones. My clients are looking to move their kids to X and X school district now till the end of the year. There seems to be no homes on the market. If you or someone you know are considering selling their home, would you please reach out to me? Or that's one, right? The other one, you could do, I'm a cash buyer for distressed property. So say you pull a distressed property, like a distressed property list. XX, I am a cash buyer for all distressed homes. Homes in any condition with flexible moving terms. If you are interested, please give me a call. And you could drop 100 people a day in their voicemail. I went to a retreat, a real estate retreat, and they said this lady did this. She did 100 voicemail a day, and she was getting like 18 phone calls. Like people just calling her, and she couldn't handle the volume of calls that came in. Imagine if you pre-record yourself, imported this list, and 100 voicemail went out. Chris, how long does it take you to dial 100 people and leave voicemails? Right? Well, in our company, we have a system too. So you can, but you have to put it in individually. I don't know. Izzy, do you know? Huh?
Do a spreadsheet.
Oh, you can? Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, so we can do a spreadsheet, import it into our system? Okay, that's good to know. I think that's it. Do I have another slide? That's it.